Hi there, and welcome to the Durham Student Experience podcast, where I'll be chatting with current Durham University students to find out all about their life at Durham. So, hi there, Liv. If you'd just like to quickly introduce yourself and tell us your name, your degree, your year, and your college.
I'm Liv. I study history at Grey College, and I'm in second year, going into third year now.
Fabulous. And if you could just tell us a little bit about where you're from originally.
So I'm from Hartlepool, so I'm from the northeast. All my friends are really jealous of me because I can go home like in the middle of the week and just be like, I want to go home and have home cooked food. So I live like half an hour away.
So just building on that, how have you found being a local student and, as you said, being able to pop home when you want to?
I'm someone who loves home comforts and I love being close to home. So it's definitely been the right choice for me. I know some people want to get as far away from home as possible. My sister did, but I like to be close to home, and yeah, I really like being in Durham and being close to home.
Had you visited Durham before you started university? Was it somewhere that was familiar to you?
Yeah, I did support progression, so it's an access programme for students in the local area, so I'd already had an idea of Durham. I stayed in Grey College actually, and I ended up there in a nice full circle moment. So I was quite familiar with Durham anyway, and then I went on some open days, and so I definitely knew Durham quite well.
So staying at Grey College, was that something that you put as your preference, or was that just a complete coincidence?
Actually, I applied to St Mary's, which I think is quite popular. I think it's quite a popular college to apply to, and I got reallocated to Grey. So even though I didn't apply to the college I'm at, I definitely wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I think that is a popular thing that we get from speaking to students who were reallocated, that they now couldn't imagine themselves anywhere else. At the time when you were reallocated, were you worried about another college, or was it something that you didn't mind too much about?
I was a little bit upset, and then I looked at sort of what Grey had. So Grey was gowned, Grey was catered, Grey had formals, all of that sort of thing. And then when I realised that, I really didn't mind. And now I'm there. It's honestly a really great experience.
That's something that we always try and explain to prospective students as well, that I think sometimes you can get swept up in believing that you want one college, but actually when you can maybe get reallocated, it's something that doesn't matter as much as you thought it would.
Yeah, definitely. I've never met anyone who was upset that they were reallocated to a different place. Everyone seems to settle in to where they were given.
So kind of moving on from that, did you get really involved with college life? So did you stay in Grey College in your first year?
Yeah, so I stayed in college in first year, I lived out in second year, and now next year I'm going to be moving back in. I've definitely tried to get involved in college life in as much as possible, so hanging out with the JCR, I'm part of Grey College Hockey Club, I go to all the formals, things like that, because it's such a rewarding and deep experience that's so integral to Durham to get involved in your college. I think it's hard not to get involved in your college.
Can you just tell us a little bit about your decision in moving back into college?
I think I'm a very busy person. I fill my time as much as possible. And because Grey's a catered college, it's definitely a lot easier to just come home at 5 o'clock from a lecture or from an activity and have your meal prepared for you, and you just have to grab it, eat it and go back. So I definitely think going into third year, when I'm going to be doing a load of academic work, as well as all my extracurriculars that I'd like to do, it's going to be much easier for me, because I found in second year a lot of time is spent cooking, and then you get distracted with your housemates cooking. There's definitely a time and place for that, but I definitely think that catering would be a lot easier for me next year.
Coming to the end of your second year, so you've done 2 years in Durham, it might be a bit of a tough one, but what would you say is your favourite Durham memory so far?
There's so much stuff that I get involved in, different places. I don't know if I can pinpoint it to one specific thing. Can I sort of cheat a little bit and say it's been trampolining captain?
Yeah, of course you can.
Because I've been captain this year and it's honestly been such a good experience and I've loved it. So much so that I'm doing it again next year, actually.
So tell us a little bit more then about being captain of a society and being an integral role in running something for other students.
So me and my co-captain, who was the year above me, both sort of balanced how much work we both had to do this year doing the split role. We organised sessions, we took people on competitions all the way down to Nottingham was our furthest away one. While we're there, we socialised with other trampolining clubs, people across the country. So we've made friends with people from like Scotland and Newcastle, and we were going to go to Isto, but unfortunately that was cancelled. So that's an Irish competition. We've organised all sorts of different things. We've organised an in-house competition. Being in charge of a society or part of a society just means that you can try and make the experience of Durham so much more enjoyable for other people, because I definitely threw myself into this role and would make myself jobs because I enjoyed it so much. I wanted to do it all the time. So it's really, really great being in charge of a society. I've really loved it.
And that is a Team Durham society, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's one of the sports that you can do through Team Durham.
The experiences that you've probably had from being able to captain that team across the country, I imagine that's been something that you won't forget.
Yeah, definitely, particularly because we were going to go to books as well. That was another competition. And at that competition, there's people who've competed in the Olympics who go. And even on our team, we had someone who went to the World Championships this year. So it's really great to socialise with people who are really, really good at the sport.
And as well as being able to socialise and captain people who have the same interests as you, what kind of skills and qualities do you think you've been able to develop by having that leadership role?
I've definitely become better at time management. So I've realised that I don't like to work in the mornings, but instead I like to work on into the night. So through captaining and having a lot to do, I've had to prioritise my to-do list and realise that, yeah, I need time off as well, but I'll work most efficiently at certain times of the day. That's a really big thing that I've learned this year.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realise necessarily about university. Like, you can tailor it completely to yourself and how you work.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would be in the Bill Bryson library, the Billy B as we call it, until like midnight. And then I'd have a housemate who would be up at 6 a.m, go to swimming training, and then go to the Billy B. So it's just strange how you can come across people and have a completely different timetable and routine to them.
What was your training schedule like then for being part of a Team Durham team?
Oh, it was pretty grueling, if I'm honest. So as captain, we had to go to every session. It's not a had to go, we wanted to go. But one of our training sessions was 7 till 9 in the morning. And then we had another one, which was actually our favourite training session, which was 8 till 10 at night on a Thursday. And then we had one more training session on a Sunday that was 9 till 11 in the morning. And then we also have like strength and conditioning. Attached to our club, we have gymnastics. So we have gymnastic sessions as well. So it was completely feasible to be involved in trampoline and gymnastics 7 days a week. But we're a really flexible club, so you could come as much or as little as you wanted to. But surprisingly, the 7 till 9 sessions were really popular. I don't know why people wanted to torture themselves and get up that early. But
So how did you find then balancing your workload from that? So as you said, it was quite intense. You could have quite a lot of hours on top of your academic study as well.
So I do history as my degree, which has very few contact hours, like physically sat in a lecture hall. Instead, we do a lot of independent study. So I found that instead of organising my time around my lectures, I organise my time mainly around my social side, because my lectures are in a time where they're usually at midday when I'm not doing any social things. So it's a lot easier to fit around my extracurricular than it is my academics. So I'd, like on my 7 till 9 training session in the morning, I'd then go to the library to fill in time until I had a seminar at 12. So it would just be finding times and a schedule and a routine to really maximise your time.
Yeah, no, that's perfect, because I think that sometimes when you do play a Team Durham sport alongside your degree subject, as you said, it can be quite intense, and it's all about just getting that balance for you. And did you ever think that you would be able to do them at such a high level together?
No, I really didn't. When I came to uni, I didn't get involved in trampolining until second term because I didn't think I'd have time for it. But then within that second term, I was decided that I wanted to captain the next year. So it was something that I was scared of for a long time. But then as soon as I started doing it, it was something that just fit into my routine so easily.
To anybody thinking about keeping up high level sport as well, have you got any advice for them?
If it's something you love, definitely do it. And even if it's something you've not tried before, if there's an opportunity to do it at college level, try it. Or if it's a club that doesn't have sort of rigorous acceptance rates, so trampolining, we take absolute beginners, try it. Try anything. You've got so many opportunities, do it.
And it's really good, as you mentioned, that there's like beginner level, there's advanced level, and everything in between. Would you recommend to people that if it's something they've never even thought about, just go out and try it?
Definitely. So I picked up hockey while I was here. I'd not played in years, and I decided to come back to it. And I've just started playing for Grey College. Rarely, but I do say I'm on the team. And then trampolining I'd done for years, and that's something that I just kept doing. There's so many opportunities, whether it's trampolining and sport, or whether it's sort of volunteering, or whether it's music and choral stuff. There's just all sorts of stuff you can get involved in, even if you've not done it before.
And you spoke about college sport as well. Can you just tell us a little bit about the different things that are available on a college level and how that differs from a Team Durham level?
So it's really interesting because each college has different things. So most colleges have things like a football team, and other colleges have things like there's a dodgeball team. Grave just formed a dodgeball team. My friends have created that society. So there's so many different opportunities, and then you play against other colleges, and it's a lot less formal and intense than Team Durham.
Moving on from kind of the extracurricular side and taking it back to the academic side, how did you find the jump from A levels to degree levels? So as you mentioned, there's a lot more flexibility and also probably a lot less contact time for your degree than what you would have been having before university.
Yeah, definitely. This is a story I tell all the time to prospective students and people coming up to Durham saying, I'm really worried about the jump. Everyone says it's so hard. But I always tell the story that my first essay for history, I sent it in, I thought it was really good. And then a couple of weeks later, I get an email from my academic advisor being like, Liv, can you come into the office? It's about your essay. And I was like, oh, what have I done? I've offended someone. I've done something really bad. I've plagiarised. I don't know what has happened. And then I go in and she just sort of goes, you got a third on this. And I know that you're so capable of so much more. And then she sat with me, talked about how I went wrong, how I could do better. And then by the end of first year, I was getting a high 2-1 as my ultimate grade. So it is a learning curve, but there's so much support for you to develop and reach your full potential.
So that support that you got through your academic programme, your academic advisor, can you just explain a little bit more about the academic advisor system for history?
So in history, our academic advisor is our tutor for one of our modules. So we do a module called Making History, and usually your academic advisor is the leader on that module. They're there for any questions, whether it's about a different module, whether it's about how do I write an essay, whether it's about like what do I do after university, can I do a master's degree, things like that. It's really, really helpful. You usually see them once a year, a couple of times a term, as much as you need to. It gives you so much support, and as in my case with talking to me about my essay, it really, really helped.
So have you found that if you ever had any worries or anything, there was always people you could go and chat to?
Yeah, definitely. Before I came to university, I was scared that it was going to be like me versus everyone else, and I was going to be very alone, and it wasn't like school where a teacher would be there to say this is where you went wrong, but it is still like that. It's just in a bigger environment. So it's different, but there's still a lot of support if you know where to look and if you find it.
Have you got 3 words that you could use to describe Durham University?
Oh, that's hard. Non-stop is a go-to one for me. So non-stop, exciting, and challenging in a good way though.
Broadening it out into more like Durham City itself, have you got any like hidden gems or top tips of areas you would say to visit for anybody that maybe hasn't been to Durham before?
Definitely by the river. Walking down the river after exams in the summer is so good. Me and my friends after exams would just go walking and like play frisbee in random places. Definitely like walking about and just experiencing and exploring the things that Durham have to offer. So the riverbank, Observatory Hill's a classic one, things like that.
Any cafes or restaurants that are your favourite go-to places?
Everyone loves flat white. And to be honest, I can see why. It's always got a queue outside it, but I have been before and it is amazing. It's definitely something you have to experience when you're at Durham. But one that I go to with my parents when they come to visit that I think is really underrated is a cafe called Bennell's. And it's through some corridors, and very few students actually go there. It's quite underrated, I think. They do like fresh bread and things like that. It's really nice.
So when you look back in 10 years' time, what do you think you will miss the most about Durham University?
All of the opportunities and the community. You'll never have so many opportunities to get involved in so many different things again. Like, it's such an amazing platform. Freshers Fair is amazing for that. You just literally go around and you can see everything that's on offer. And trying to get involved in as much as you can is quite difficult when you've got a degree to manage as well. But the community as well, because it's so supportive, and each society has such an amazing community that you can get involved in. And it's also welcoming, that honestly, I'd recommend getting involved in it, and I'm really going to miss it.
With your third year in mind, looking forward, what are you most excited about?
I'm really, really excited. It sounds so nerdy, but I'm really excited to do my dissertation because it's really going to hone in on some research and some things that I'm really interested in. But I'm also really excited to keep doing sort of my trampolining captain, because I'm doing that again, and just try and get involved in as much as I can in my last year.
If you could relive one moment of university so far, like take yourself back to one moment in time, what would it be?
Probably my first trampolining competition. Sorry for being like so trampolining obsessed, but it genuinely is such a big part of my uni life. My first trampolining competition was last year, and it was Nottingham. And it was the first time that I really felt part of a community and people who were really excited about the same thing that I was. And it was such an amazing experience because there was so much team bonding. We all stayed in like a hostel, and we had to go like for a team meal with everyone from different unis. And it was such a great experience to meet so many different people. And the competitions as well have like funny sides to it. So there's like synchro roulette. So you have to trampoline synchronized with someone you've never met before. So it's just so fun. It's amazing.
Can you tell me just a little bit about your experience with like part-time working and the opportunities that you've found?
So yeah, definitely. I'm a Durham student ambassador. So that's a job that's so flexible. And you don't have to do any prescribed hours really. You just say when you're free. And if there's an opportunity that comes up and you have nothing on at that time, you can sign up for it. It's been so amazing to fit around my degree and to do while I've been trying to study. But as well, it's such a rewarding and amazing opportunity that I actually genuinely enjoy.
Can you just elaborate a little bit more on the different events that go on in college and all the different events that happen throughout the year in college?
So yeah, definitely. I can only really speak for Grey because while you can get involved in other colleges' events, I haven't really done it. So BOP stands for Bit of a Party. So we have loads of events and loads of BOPs throughout the year. So the first event we have at Grey is Neon BOP, which is to welcome all the freshers and welcome back all the second, third and fourth years. And they get like UV lights and neon paint, and it's really cool. And then there's Halloween BOP, which is where you like dress up. There's balls. So we have 2 balls a year, and we have either winter or informal ball. It alternates. So informal ball, you dress up, and then winter ball's like a fancy ball. And then Phoenix Ball is our other one, where you get dressed up. We go to a fancy occasion. It's at the end of the year, so you can celebrate everything. And then we also have formals. So formals at Grey, we dress up and we wear gowns. I know other colleges have fancy dress formals or don't have gowns. And they're usually themed. So we have like Valentine's Day formals where it's like a seating roulette and you have to sit across from someone like you might never have met before. Or we have stressless formal near exams where you have to like, where you can colour in and do sort of chillaxing things. But yeah, there's so many different things. And then there's like sports balls and things you can get involved in. There's so many different college events that you can't think of them all quite easily. Christmas formal is always a good one. We sing 12 Days Christmas at them and like stand up each table. It's quite fun.
So it's fair to say you can have a fully jam-packed calendar.
Oh, definitely. I've never been more busy than I am at uni.
Okay, so this is the big one to finish. If you could turn back time and give your pre-university self one piece of advice, what would it be?
You see, I've got a serious one and a funny one.
Have both.
Cool. So my serious one is just anything that sparks your interest just a little bit, do it. Whether that's academic, if there's a module that you think, oh, that might be all right, but it looks challenging, go for it. You might enjoy it and it might be something like your passion for the rest of your life. Or if it's a society that you think, I've never done it before, but it sounds cool and I want to try it, do it. There'll be other people that have never done it before and you might learn something that you really enjoy. So definitely try and get involved in as much as you can. And then my silly one is there's a lot of fancy dress opportunities in college and in societies. So definitely get a white t-shirt. White t-shirts are so useful because you can just draw on them. And it's saved me many a time for when it's been like college bops and I've had to dress up. So white t-shirt is what I recommend to all freshers.
Thank you so much, Liv, for chatting with me today, and thank you everyone for listening. I hope this was really useful for you to find out a little bit more about Liv's student experience at Durham University.